Once upon a time in a kingdom far away, there was a kind and beautiful princess named Snow White. Her skin was as white as snow, her lips as red as blood, and her hair as black as ebony. Snow White lived with her stepmother, the queen, who was jealous of her beauty. The queen, who owned a magical mirror, would often ask it, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?" For many years the mirror would always answer, "You, my queen, are fair, it's true. But Snow White is even fairer than you." Enraged by this truth, the queen ordered Snow White to be taken into the forest and left there to perish. But the kind-hearted huntsman, who was tasked with carrying out the order, couldn't bear to harm Snow White. Instead, he told her to run away and never return. Snow White fled into the depths of the forest, where she discovered a quaint little cottage inhabited by 7 dwarfs. These dwarfs, each with a distinct personality, welcomed her warmly and offered her shelter. Snow White, in return, helped them with household chores and soon became beloved by all. However, the wicked queen soon discovered Snow White was still alive. Using her dark magic, she disguised herself as an old peddler woman and visited the cottage. First, she tricked Snow White into eating a poisoned apple. As soon as Snow White took a bite, she fell into a deep enchanted sleep. The dwarfs, heartbroken, placed Snow White in a crystal coffin deep in the forest. News of Snow White's beauty and her tragic slumber spread far and wide, reaching the ears of a prince who had long admired her from afar. He came to the forest, saw Snow White, and was moved by her beauty and the story of her plight. Unable to resist, the prince kissed Snow White. The kiss, true and pure, broke the spell and Snow White awoke. Joyful and grateful, Snow White and the prince were soon married in a grand ceremony. They invited the 7 dwarfs to the castle as honored guests. As for the wicked queen, she was never seen again. Peace and happiness returned to the kingdom, and Snow White and her prince lived happily ever after, surrounded by friends who loved them dearly. And so the enchanted forest was no longer a place of danger but one of joy and magic, where the kindness of Snow White and the bravery of her friends became legendary.